Welcome everybody to Total Disruption. I am Dr. Jake Clendenning on behalf of my partner Michael Labersi. Love to welcome Michael Barnes today. This is going to be really easy for me because I'm used to usually talking with a Michael, so it's going to be really easy to talk to a Michael today. Michael's a life coach. He's a best-selling published international author. He's a speaker. Does all the stuff and all the cool things. And he works in the space that I work in. He works in the space that we work in. Looking forward to this conversation to dig into it. Michael, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about you today?
Well, I am 53 years old. I was born and raised in Oklahoma. Go Sooners. I love the win over Alabama last week. I really love it. I was happy. We had the spread. We were supposed to be down 8.5. Well, guess what? We won the game, so that beat the spread no problem. Came from a very, very simple, very rural background with not much in the way of any type of opportunities to actually see how things worked, to say, hey, this was look like a good idea. This could be something that I could try. Verbally and sometimes physically abusive upbringing. Had some stints in DUI school.
Okay.
And I turned a lot of that into my business today.
Yeah. So there's some low hanging fruit questions that we can ask about this, as far as I came up a similar way, right? And I'm 52. Like, you and I are speaking the same language, man. We came up in a similar era, similar time. I recently wrote a book a little bit more about that. Was there a particular time, like when did it change for you? When did you make the choice of, this is the direction that I'm going? Yes, there's a whole big brighter world out there. When did you really make the catalyst? I mean, you've written two great books now. So, like, what age? We're 53 now. Did it happen at 52 or did it happen at 20? Where did it take place for you?
I would have to say around the year 2016 is when things
16.
started really coming into okay, wait a minute. Because I lived that long from 1972 all the way to 2016, believing I had to do these things. Life is going to be just a bunch of suffering with very few high points in it all the way through life. Okay. And then you die and you don't leave much of anything to anybody. And I heard about this person before back in 2009. His name is Dave Ramsey.
We talk about Dave a lot. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
So, yeah, you're good.
Buckle up, Buttercup. It's going to be some fun. Okay.
Yeah.
And he had a really good phrase. It says, I've had it. When you actually hit that point, when you say, I've had it, that is when you start seeing things in a different light. I was already 3 years into a 7-year bad marriage. My third one, if you have that many fingers, and I was just living. You said low hanging fruit. That's exactly what I was looking at, exactly what I was doing, because I did not know my worth. I was a fairly successful truck driver. I could do 10,000 miles a month, no problem. It sounds like a lot. It's fairly easy. If all you're doing is driving 2 days and then delivering one day, picking up the next, that's fairly easy to do. For 2 days, you're a steering wheel holder.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to realizing that, okay, let me count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've said that phrase to myself over 20 times. But I did not have the tools because of my upbringing that said, you can change it, and here's how. Because I had that mentality of, again, wake up, work hard, come home, sit in front of the TV, rinse, repeat.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I started. breaking. Imagine a chick breaking out of the shell for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the that is when the what's the word I'm looking for? That's when the cracks started to form into what I'm doing today. But again, I didn't have the tools to actually deal with that and make the necessary steps and make the necessary decisions. Now, I got married in 2013. I should have divorced in 2012. Okay, I'm not going to lie here. I'm not going to mention her name. Not going to happen. I'm not going to do that. But at the same time, I just knew it once again. Now, at the same time, we looked successful. We had a 3 bedroom, 2 bath house, 1,600 square foot. I turned the garage into a man cave. Did not realize I was just trying to escape.
Right.
Okay. And so when we did the divorce in 2020, yay, COVID. Uh,
Heard a lot about that too.
uh, now I was back on the road driving a truck and we hauled 3 things. We hauled medical supplies, we hauled food, and we hauled beer.
Okay.
Okay. So I was set. I was considered an essential person. So I could go anywhere. And if you've ever been in California at rush hour,
Oh yeah.
okay, in April of 2020, all those streets were bare.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that. No one there. You could just cruise. No one's going to bother you. And we made so much time. An hour and a half trip ended up taking 45 minutes. I mean, it was beautiful. But then that's when everything really started to fall apart for me was 2020. Okay, everyone can say that because of COVID, but this really wasn't a COVID issue. This was I like my beer. I haul it a lot. I'm more high toned. I like a better brand than what I'm hauling. But then I just got just too much in the cups one night, and I ended up losing my CDL on a DUI. And December of 2020 is when the judge said, "Nope, I'm revoking your CDL." Well, I felt like I bounced back on my feet because my friend at the time of 25 years, we met in college. He said, "I own a computer store. I need someone to manage it. I know while you're doing that, you can live here." So my suffering lasted 2.5 days. I had a job managing a computer store January 2021. All right, great. Did that, but the money wasn't enough to where I could get out of the house and get into my own place, things like that. I was there. So I did end up doing another job. I left him just before Thanksgiving in 2023. I still work there now occasionally. I love tinkering with computers. I love doing computer builds. I love doing desktop diagnostics. Love it. So I work now still there as a hobby job, something to
Right.
do, something to
Feed your
tinker
soul
with.
kind of stuff.
Yeah. But my second DUI happened in November 2021 because I did not learn those lessons because I did not know how to learn those lessons
Mm-hmm.
way back. Because I'm sure you understand this between the ages of 7 and 14, that is when we are the most impressionable.
Mm-hmm.
And that is when everything that we see around us, everything that our parents, our grandparents, our aunts, uncles, siblings, whatever are doing, and that is when they are saying, okay, this is how it is. Welcome to life. In the back of my mind, the whole time, I'm thinking bull butter.
Mm-hmm.
Something's not right because I go to school. I see all these successful kids, all these successful parents. And those habits, that happens. I mean, what are you going to do about it? Well, I mean, you both know the answer is everything.
Yeah, exactly. And there's one statement I wanted to challenge on you on that one,
Mm-hmm.
just for the audience sake. Like I know you get where this one is, but
Sure.
when we say I didn't have the tools, yes and no. is where I'll go with that one, because it was, the tools existed. We weren't aware of the tools.
No.
We had seen nobody. There was no social proof. There was no, and especially during the days that we grew up, like what we have seen in this revolution, is like the industrial revolution. I didn't have a cell phone when I was set between 7 and 14. That did not exist. We were still going to this magical place called outside, and the next place was the library. A computer did not exist until I was like 17 years old. And we used to write code in ones and zeros on these green screens that didn't have color, didn't do any of the other stuff. So we weren't aware, like the information was not as accessible as it is right now. So like that's the one message I want to tell everybody in this moment. And we're going to get more into this with Michael. You have, and this is a neurolinguistics programming presupposition. This is presupposed. You have every tool available to you that every other person has on the planet to do anything that you want to do. And it's true. Absolutely true. Where Michael and I came up, and we know this is also, it was true to us. We had no idea that stuff existed. The model of our world looked different at that time, and that's, to Michael's point. And he tells a story that I know so many people in the audience can relate to, and I've seen it, and I know Michael has too. How many thousands of times do we just see that person going through the motions in life? Because that was their model. That was their grandparents lived that way, their parents lived that way, they lived that way, their kids are seeing it and they're living that way. It's a breakable pattern.
It's a hugely breakable pattern, and this is something that I need to emphasize. I guarantee the listeners right now are thinking to themselves, yeah, I had that thought way back when. Yeah, it wasn't this nagging thing. This got to be something better. And you are absolutely right. There is something better. All you have to do, it sounds simple, but it is a little bit difficult. It is to break the crab mentality.
All right, unpack that a little more. Break the crab mentality. That's good stuff, man.
Has if you need to, you can go on YouTube, search crabs in a bucket. And they're all sitting there, all happy in their bucket, in their water, blowing little bubbles. One decides I want to go see what else is going on. All the rest of those crabs are going to pull him back down. And it's not because of anything malicious, nothing nefarious, nothing like that. It's just they like the comfort of that other crab with them. The same thing happens in our lives. We are the sum of the 5 people that we hang out with every day.
Jim Rohn, one of my favorite quotes. I wrote my first book about that, and I built my body of work to write my dissertation for my doctorate based on that right there.
Yep.
So okay. Critical, important. Like, man, I can't overemphasize this. Dig into it, man. I love this part.
And one of the biggest things everybody needs to do, okay, I'm a coach. I'll coach you on it, no problem, okay? You need to audit your circle. Mm-hmm. Now, are you getting along and you're agreeing with everything, but yet in the back of your mind, you're still miserable? I call that the comfort zone. Mm-hmm. And it is extremely detrimental. Mm-hmm. So you have the crabs pulling you back, the people in your life holding you down because that's what they're used to. Again, nothing nefarious, nothing mean. But why you need to listen for questions like, why are you worried about something like that? Questions like, or statements like, you're doing fine. Oh yeah, what are you so worried about? I mean, we're all here to support you. Stay with us. That's a lie, by the way, but we'll get into that one later.
Oh yeah, no.
I mean, it is a lie.
It is. It's a bold-faced lie. Yeah,
Now
it's
there,
all about, yeah.
now there are people out there that will hop into your circle and say, "What do you want to accomplish?" That's the first question, and you list out these things. This next question, if they ask it, you need to latch onto them like you are Jaws, because that question is, "How can I help you?"
And
If you get that
there's such a
person,
powerful, that's a powerful space. And
yep,
like, let's unpack that a little more, Michael.
yeah,
Because there's,
because
think about the difference between as he's making this discussion, this differentiation of, you've got the 5 crabs in your bucket that are all saying, you're fine. You're fine. What are you so worried about? And this other crab says something different. How can I help you?
different,
Right. Different. Yeah. Right. And
exactly.
it's so much, it's a bad word. And that is coming from a servant's heart. That's coming from a place of, I've got nothing to gain for this by saying, how can I help you? What do you need? What's your piece? And this is, I had one of those people. I've had a lot of people those in my life, but I didn't notice it. I didn't pay attention until about 2010. And that's right. Yeah, Michael's pointing the finger, and it's absolutely true. They were there, right? These people are always, and this is where I want you to think about this. This will bake your noodle a little bit. Like, I can think all the way back to, like, and I've done a lot of this work, and the audience knows this. I can go all the way back to 2nd grade. There were people in my life right there that were the right people to put in my life. And even in 2nd grade, I could have made the decision, spend time with this person that's saying, how can I help you, Jake? Or I can spend time with the other people. What decisions did I make at that time? I made the popular decision,
The
caused them some
comfort zone
havoc. We get
decision.
that. Right. I didn't make, but at that age, do we know that?
No, you
Can
don't.
you feel it from a fight or flight? Does a little squishy thing in the back of your head giving you some signals? Probably. It
No, it's
probably
2nd
was,
grade.
but
Me and you are in the same age. We want to eat dirt. Okay, that's what.
that's
I
what we were
mean,
doing. Yeah, I
that's all
wanted
we're
to go
doing.
big. Yeah, that's all I wanted to do. So it was, Michael, it was about 2016 when it was Dave Ramsey that you heard it.
No,
It was about 2010 that I heard it, and it was actually well, it was actually 2009 that I heard it. And it was somebody I looked up to as a business mentor. And that was the first time that I heard it, that I paid attention. I'd heard it before. It was the first time I paid attention, and I went, "Oh, what do you mean? Like, tell me more about that." What? Because we have this innate desire, which is dumb, to try and do everything alone, try and do it on our own, which is dumb. Nobody succeeds alone. You can pick your guru out there on the web, on the internet right now. It has nothing to do with succeeding alone. Michael heard Dave Ramsey say it. I heard Barb say it. I heard Bob Peterson say it. I've heard, since then I've said it a billion times because it's going to affect somebody. So it's 100% true. So, like, let's before we burn through the whole thing, because we're just talking about, like, I want to get to your books. I want to get to the Phoenix part, the Phoenix metaphor.
okay.
Like, I think it feels like that's about the right spot for her. So, like, you use the Phoenix as a central metaphor in your book. So your one is specifically turmoil to transformation and the Phoenix within. Those are your books you've got.
Yep.
So what does the Phoenix represent for you? When did that come up? And, like, tell us that story, because that is really a powerful piece.
It would have to be 2020, 2021. When, 2 DUIs later, here I am going to treatment court. And I had all these phrases, again, from Dave Ramsey, Zig Ziglar. I can name them all if you wish. I'm like, okay, all of this is going on. And I had this who I thought when I first met, because I went to treatment court in Oklahoma, in Cleveland County, Oklahoma. Sailed through it, no sanctions, did not test hot, nothing. Okay. About a third of the way through treatment court, I get approached by my probation officer, who I saw one time out of the courtroom. He showed up on July 2nd, by the way, July 2nd, 2022. Came in, did his what he's supposed to do: look for alcohol, look for drugs, look for weapons, look for anything like that. Okay, and he knew he was going to find nothing. He knew me at that point, and I'd only been in treatment course since like April. A month and a half later, I'm just doing this to check the box off. Okay, I have bigger fish to fry. That was his quote.
Right.
And when he showed up, he said, "You have no idea how successful you can be." I looked at him and said, "You're right. I haven't had the tools." He looked at me and said, "You're going to be the tool."
Ooh.
What? Instead of doing the 3 normal things that you're supposed to do for self-improvement every week, go to church, go to the gym, I want you to write 3 different pieces of information per week. What? I haven't got to the fun part yet. And I know you can't use these in any publication, but this one, because I know you're destined for big things here. Okay, you are. You're no problem. I know we're really going to fix you to the point that you're ready to fix other people. Boy, was he so freaking clairvoyant on that one. So I started doing that, and he said, "Yeah, you've done your 3 pieces of self improvement. I'm just printing stuff out, making things, just writing things out, things I watch on YouTube or TikTok or whatever." Yes, a 53-year-old watching TikTok. There's a different one.
Not
And
as rare as you think.
it was rare for me. I'm from Oklahoma, and there's not much
Right.
room for technology here. But then I got really thinking, let's start a business. Of course, I can't use these pieces I'm using for the business, but let's see how, like they say, you can help people. All right, let's put the fire to the flame here, see what happens. So I get a business coach, big, mean, muscular, Australian, 10,000 miles away. So if I screwed up, I know I can get away from him. He said, "Okay, I want you to create a 5-question sheet for your clients. Okay. Then I want you to create a really good banner for your Facebook page or LinkedIn, whatever." I was like, "You've already been succeeding and doing everything above and beyond what I've asked you. You're going to write a book." What? I'm going to do what?
Mm-hmm.
94 days later, From Turmoil to Transformation came out.
Beautiful.
And then I kind of let that one slide. I really got a whole lot of different ideas going, coached a few clients, got a really good perspective of who I wanted to deal with and who I wanted to help. And then that's where the Phoenix Within came out. Because everyone I gravitated to had the same similar background, didn't know how to get the tools they needed to succeed in life. Very simple, very rural, very lazy way of life. Okay. And now I'm working 3 jobs, including this one. I work at a junkyard. I work on this, and I play with computers. And I still have time to do everything I want to in life. As a matter of fact,
want to do. So
yeah, everything.
there's an interesting piece. So there's 2 pieces as we're like already coming up against the wall on this.
Mm-hmm.
So one is, in order to reach Michael, buildinglifefoundations.com.
Yes.
Buildinglifefoundations.com
Mm-hmm.
to be able to reach out to him. Check out his website. For one, I not want to leave without that. And then something really critical through the story that you're telling here, and I've said this a lot of times, is it wasn't necessarily the tool that showed up, right? It wasn't a sudden and immediate awareness that all the stuff existed. It was a who. It was a person. It was a parole officer that had the foresight to lead. Like that is so profound because we hear the negative side of that all the time. And yet his challenges were simple for you. And then the
Oh,
next thing you did,
possible.
you did the smart thing. You hired a coach.
Yep.
And 100% hire a coach. You need coaching about these particular things. Hire a coach, and your coach challenged you to do something far beyond your comfort zone. But look where you are now.
Yeah,
I mean,
I maintained a solid D average in English.
I almost didn't, and the audience knows this. I almost did not graduate high school because I almost failed English. The only reason I am positive I got out of that is because Mrs. Herlichka did not want me in class the next year. I'm positive that is why I graduated.
I have a feeling we're the
And
same teacher.
yeah, it was one of those. So Michael, this is great, man. I really appreciate it. Again, if you guys want to get a hold of Michael, buildinglifefoundations.com. Really appreciate your time today. Really fast before we look, what's one thing you'd want to leave the audience with today?
I don't care what anybody else says. Whatever you want to do, you can. So you should do it.
Love that, man. That couldn't say it better. I am Dr. Jake Clendenning on behalf of the Michael Labersi and Michael Barnes. Thank you so much for being here today. Now it's your turn to go disrupt.